Well, hello there, my fellow rushers. How are you doing today? King Rex here, and today we're continuing on with Kingdom Rush Frontiers hero reviews. Last time we left off at Satan, and now we're jumping into the last two heroes, the $7 ones, the dragons. Yeah, we're talking about the dragons today, and now we're gonna be talking about Ashbite. Oh my god, he doesn't even have a voice actor. What a disappointment. And yeah, Ashbite is kind of a confusing hero. He's a dragon, you're thinking, oh my god, we're gonna destroy everything now, right? Right? Not really. He's actually kind of a questionable as far as dragon goes. Like, for $7, he's a bit iffy. But we're gonna get into his goofiness later on. Before that, let's talk about his actual stats. 600 health. Now that's a pretty high amount of health. One of the highest healths in the game, by the way, so not bad. However, no armor, which makes sense because he's in the air, he's not gonna stall anything, so the only thing you have to worry about is ranged attackers, and that's about it. 34 to 50 true damage. Now that's pretty good. It's true damage, so it ignores the armor. And it also deals splash damage, which is kind of interesting. It's kind of similar to the Phoenix from Kingdom Rush Origins. It's pretty much the exact same, if I remember correctly. And average attack rate, so it's not bad at all. At least on paper, that is. Now let's get into his weird, confusing abilities. Starting off with Blazing Breath. So yeah, this one is quite interesting. It's a grouped attack. Yeah, it recharges pretty quickly, I suppose. It recharges every 10 seconds, so it's kind of good, but the area effect, it may seem like it's pretty big, but in the actuality it's not quite as big as you may think it is. And it only does like 56 damage, which, what a disappointment. That's like just a little bit more than his high end on his basic attack. I mean, yeah, it affects a decent area, I believe, but I don't know. It's weird, and it also has longer range. But as you can see, he has a weird attack. Like, look at that. He cannot attack people underneath him. Ignore that. That was one of his other abilities. But as you can see, sometimes he just doesn't want to attack. Like, look at that. Look at this enemy. This enemy is over there. Now he attacks him, but then he just stops and he turns. Like, his attack range is kind of goofy, and you have to put him in a weird positions in order to make him to get him to attack, which, you know, it's a little bit problematic. That's kind of an issue, the issue with most dragons in the games, because, you know, they have a weird attacking pattern. You have to put, but Ashbite has a especially bad one. You have to put him in a very goofy angles in order to get him to attack constantly. So yeah. That's kind of meh, to say the least. The next one actually is kind of Dependable Feast. This one is a bit questionable, because that doesn't really fit his playstyle. In my opinion, he's more about crowd control rather than dealing with tough enemies. But the thing is that this ability gives you the idea that you can insta-kill enemies, and that's awesome, but it's only 40% chance. It's not even a guaranteed insta-kill, which, you know, for a $7 hero, you expect a guaranteed insta-kill, but nope, you're not getting that. You're getting only 40%. And if you don't get the insta-kill, you're gonna do 200 damage. And you may be thinking, maybe it's 200 true damage. Nope, it's physical damage, so it's completely useless. It's pretty poorly designed, and it recharges every 30 seconds, so yeah. I mean, if you get the insta-kill, that's cool, but the chance is not really in your favor. It's not in your favor, unfortunately. So yeah, it's kind of iffy. And also against flag enemies, he's also pretty bad. I mean, look at that. That was literally, this guy's literally, and I don't know, like, now he's attacking them, but if you put him on, let's say, I don't know, right? Let's put him right here. Look at that. He doesn't attack. What? Come on, Ashbite. Like, I just can't get over his attack range, man. It's so confusing. His attack pattern is so weird. Like this could be a video in and of itself about how weird his attack pattern is, but I don't know, maybe I'll do one in the future. But just letting you know, the pattern that he attacks is really confusing. And the next one is kinda meh. Fiery Mist. Honestly, this one is good and also meh at the same time. It's a big cloud and it affects a decent area and it slows down enemies by 50% for 5 seconds. Which is not bad, you know, it's a decent ability for stalling, but it's not great. It's kind of alright. You know, it's not, but it doesn't do any damage. Like, as you can see, the enemies take no damage. In Kingdom Rush Origins, where you had the young Ashbite, and he used this ability, the area was a little bit smaller, but it did some actual DOT, which was pretty cool. But in this case, he doesn't do that, which, you know, it's kind of sad. And it recharges every 15 seconds. It's kind of alright cooldown, it's not super long or anything. But I find it to be kinda meh at most. What is not meh, however, is the next ability. Wildfire Barrage. Oh yeah, now this one is actually the only ability that I really like about Ashbite, because it has a really long range, and it's not infinite range, but you can snipe enemies from across the map with relative ease. It's pretty cool. And he shoots one big meteor that splits into 12 small explosions, and each one of them does 30 group damage, and that's a total of 360 group damage, which is a lot of damage. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, I mean, let's wait for him to shoot it, if he decides to. Come on, Ashbite, there it is. I mean, look at that. Look at that, that was a pretty gigantic area, if I do say so myself. I like it. And it also catches enemies on fire, which we're gonna talk about what they do and what the fire does in a minute. But overall, I find it to be probably the only good ability about Ashbite, at least to me. And last but not the least, he has a really interesting passive ability. Ray of Fire. So yeah, the fire thing. Basically, whenever he hits an enemy, he catches on fire, and he takes 30 damage for 3 seconds, aka 10 damage per second. Now, this is a pretty decent DOT, but I don't know, it's alright at most. It's decent, but I don't know. I don't know how good it is, because I'm not quite sure if it's physical damage or true damage, but I'm pretty sure it's true damage, so that's at most, if you let the DOT does its thing, you're gonna get a maximum of 80 damage per regular attack, which it's not too bad, but I don't know, I find it to be kinda iffy sometimes. Again, he deals splash damage, so you can affect multiple enemies with it. But I don't know, still, even with this, I find Ashbite to be kind of underwhelming for a dragon at least. Now, is he a terrible hero? I don't know. He's bad for sure, but he's not like the worst in the game. So I'm still gonna give him a 7.5 out of 10. Now, for a dragon, that's pretty bad, but I would say he has some strong sides. You know, against crowds, he can do a decent job. He can keep up with crowds, and that's what he's designed to do. He's supposed to be dealing with crowds. He's not really good against single targets, even though he has the weird insta-kill, quote-unquote. But I don't know, I feel like he is a little bit underpowered for a dragon. I definitely would have made some changes to him if I was in Ironhide. I would have improved his grouped attack or the first ability to do more damage, like 100 or 150, you know, something decent. I would have made the smoke attack do some actual DOT to make it a little bit more useful, or maybe I would have increased the slowdown effect. And I would have turned the insta-kill from 40% chance to guaranteed insta-kill, but on a bit longer cooldown. Maybe like 35 or 40 seconds. But I don't know, Shadrach has an insta-kill which is 25 seconds, so maybe I'll lower the cooldown, who knows. I don't work on Ironhide after all. So yeah, Ashbite is kind of a goofy option. Now, is he worthy for the $7? I would have to say no. He is not that great. I mean, he's not atrocious, but I don't know, for $7 you expect something more forceful, you know, something stronger, and he doesn't seem to be that hero. So yeah, unfortunately I will not recommend him, but hey, if you think like you're gonna have fun with him, then go get him, but I'm warning you, the attack pattern is probably the worst in the game. Like, he can attack, sometimes he's gonna attack a lot, sometimes he's just gonna completely stay there and do absolutely nothing. So yeah, that's my opinion on Ashbite, and that's gonna do it for the video, guys. Thank you everybody so much for watching, I appreciate you for sticking around to the end. Subscribe if you want to see more of this content in the future, and while you're at it, drop a like on the video, it means a lot to me. And I will see you in the next video. Until it comes, that was King Rexy, over and out.